Hello YouTube, EasyGoingMC back with another tutorial slash overview video. And today, this video is going to be all about villagers. So this is not going to be like a specific tutorial anyway. This is an overview of how you should go about getting villagers. Because I know when I first started building villager breeders and things like that, I thought it was really complicated, didn't really understand that. And it still is a little complicated on how it works. But if you know some basics, you'll be able to essentially use villagers, get all the mending and all the other treasure enchantments that you want, and it will really be quite awesome. So let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to be going over breeding, sorting, long-term storage, the types of villagers, and of course, other applications besides what I just listed, which include many farms that you can use this for. Also, keep in mind that these designs are not all mine. This is a villager breeder done by Mr. Beast. I think that's his name, if that's how you say it. And it's very fast. I will link all of the designs shown in this video in the description down below, including this one plus a couple others. This is a very large and fast villager breeder. There's many other types that I've used and think that work well. So yeah. Also, this trading booth right here was done by, what's his name, SC Petty. I've done a fix for this, so that involves if you want to bring it around corners and things like that. I'll also link this tutorial that he made and my fix down in the description. And also will later show an iron farm off, and that's my design. I'll link that in the description as well. But let's get into the video. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, acquire a couple villagers. So there's two ways you can do this. And one of these ways is simply going to a villager or village and getting what was I going to say? Getting villagers from there and transporting that back to your base. But there's another way, is it getting 2 zombie villagers and throwing a weakness potion on that and feeding it a golden apple. So that is if you don't have a village nearby or don't want to have to transport them very far. This is the next best way to do it. It's like the only other way to do it, really. So yeah, I would suggest just going to a village and transporting them. That would be much easier. You can just do that through the nether and such, but we're not going to wait for that guy to do it because that guy will eventually turn in, I guarantee it. But yeah, let's get into breeding. So after you have that, you have 2 pairs or pair of villagers, which is enough for any farm. You have to start off with 2, or actually you need 3 technically speaking. So you would need 3 villagers for this to work because you always have to have one up here. So acquire yourself 3 villagers. That's pretty much what you need. And for this design, you basically have villagers in the design, and villagers need carrots, potatoes, bread, or wheat, which I'll explain that in a second. This is a little bit different. So any type of villager can pick up carrot, potato, or bread, but only the villagers that have a career or a profession, I forget which one's which, of farmer, so it has a brown robe, can pick up bread. So, or can pick up wheat, I mean. So I would suggest just crafting your wheat into bread. You won't need as much bread, so it doesn't really matter. So don't use wheat, use carrots, potatoes, or bread, and this will work fine. As you can see, you have successfully breeded your villagers. Once you see these love hearts coming up, that means they will breed. So basically, in this design, you could hook this up to a food farm, which I'll show later in the video. But for the sake of this video, you can just throw in your food, and it will go through this system right here. Yeah, it works exceptionally well. So once the baby villagers grow up, they're pushed into this little stream, and they come down into here. I'm not going to go over the specifics of this breeder. You can look at Mr. Beast's video if you'd like, or if you need me, I can answer some questions down in the comments, but this does work very well. All these villagers have an empty inventory too, which is very important. But as you can see, all the babies congregate in this area. When they grow up, they go up this water elevator and end up here. Next, we have a minecart right here, and I'll simulate a villager growing up. So this minecart is going back and forth. But once we get a villager in there, the minecart picks up and gets enough momentum to go here. After a few ticks, we have another minecart dispense. This system is very nice. It works a lot better than SC Petty's. There's enough more delay. But once again, this world download will be in the description if you want to check this out. So this is your sorter. So what I suggest doing is filling up this entire area. So what I like to do, we'll just put a few more villagers in here that we might want, and we can do this. So for example, this, we don't like him because you can't actually trade with this type. So you just want to click this button and get rid of him, and he'd be disposed in a villager disposer right there. And this one, he's a librarian. We want these kinds. They give us good books. Oops, don't do that. Toolsmith, these aren't bad to keep either. You can get really good diamond tools from them. Cartographer, I mean, you can keep one, but other than that, you can just get rid of it. Toolsmith, once again, not bad. Leather or Butcher, don't like those either. Those are pretty bad. That Cleric, I keep one around with a perfect glowstone trade. So you can place a torch trade here. And then Nitwit, don't like those. Get rid of it. Same thing for that same type of villager right there. Now we can come over here and we can see that the villagers can be disposed of like so. So we'll quickly watch. Alright, that was weird. I don't know. This system is not 100% flawless yet. I have to work on the design. I didn't really work that, but just use a villager disposal system with activator rails, cactus. Doesn't really matter which type you use. But yeah, that's basically this. So I have a way to dispose of villagers. There's many designs you can find online. And yeah. I'm gonna do a quick cut and we'll get into the type. Alright, we're back from that quick cut. Now let's get into a quick recap of what we've done before we get into the types of villagers. So first we went over how to acquire villagers, and then we went into breeding. I'm not going to go into in-depth explanation of how this particular breeder works. There's already been videos made about this particular one that I'll put down in the description, and a couple other designs if you want to go for a slightly smaller one. Then we have a bit of a storage area right here. Right here we have a sorter where you'd mark torches with the ones you want to trade with. You'd trade with them, you'd find the ones you'd like, and then you would send them off into a storage area. I mean, when I say storage, I mean something like this, where you have like your villager in here. That's a good one, which is actually the worst villager you can ever have. So yeah. And then you'd have a killing, if you didn't like them, you have this killing station right here, which I made made sure it works now fairly well. Sometimes it does that because the villagers are trying to pathfind, but eventually it will go in. I've made sure of that countless times. As you can see, it just worked right there. For whatever reason, I think it's a little buggy in the snapshot. I am in the first 1.12 snapshot, so just keep that in mind. So now let's get into the types of villagers, then we'll get into some other uses besides trading with villagers, and then we'll get into a couple more bits and pieces that'll be really quite quick. Let's get into the types though. First things first, Nitwit, you can't actually trade with these guys, so the only use is to use them in a breeder or in an iron farm, or in other farms too. Toolsmith, you can trade with these guys to get diamond pickaxes, which are useful. Librarians, you'd want to trade with these guys to potentially get some of the other stuff, like maybe glass, and name tags. But also, they have 3 enchanted book trades, which you can use to get Mending and Frostwalker 2, Silk Touch, and Infinity. Very good books. That's for very, very low amounts of emeralds. Cartographer, you can use that to get treasure maps to woodland mansions and ocean temples, or ocean monuments. Shepherds, not much of a trading opportunity here, but you can use them for automatic food farms and breeders and iron farms. Pretty much any villager here can be used in a breeder or an iron farm. So yeah. Farmers, you want to keep these guys. They have a melon, pumpkin, carrot, potato, and wheat trade. So you want to get the lowest number. I'll quickly give you guys those. So 18 for wheat, 17 or 15 for potatoes, 15 for carrots, 8 for pumpkins, and 7 for melons. So that one is actually not bad. It had 3 low trades. So just find the best one for you and trade with these guys to get all the emeralds in the book. Weaponsmith, this guy will give you a diamond sword and diamond axe. Cleric, only really use is the glowstone trade. That's not that bad. Unless you have a witch farm, then it's pretty bad. Fletchers and fishermen, not much of a use here. I'll quickly scan through the trades. So the only use you really have is automatic food farms, breeders, iron farms, etc. These 2 guys, pretty bad trades. I wouldn't really use these guys for trading at all, but you can use them, of course, in breeders and iron farms. And then last but not least, the armor has a diamond armor trade plus chainmail armor if you want some of that. if you don't have that much for mobs. But that is basically all the types of villagers. I quickly scanned over those. You can find a lot of this information on the wiki, so I'll put a link to that in the description down below. But now let's get into the other applications of villagers. The first of this is an iron farm, a farm that produces iron golems like that one here. That was such good luck, and then automatically kills them down below. So this is my design. It produces about a stack an hour. I've been on this world for a few minutes, and it's produced even more. So yeah, this is my design. I'll link it down in the description. It uses 10 villagers over here, very, very nicely. It's a very good design. I quite like it a lot. To put that in perspective, as we're changing worlds, I have 2 of those in my survival world, and I have plenty of iron to use from all the AFKing I do. I probably will build 2 more, though, for sure. Now, the other application is, of course, automatic food farms. So this one is an automatic carrot farm. It's not fully up and running. This is just a test because I'm going to build it in my survival world shortly. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a weird yawn type thing there. So this design is made by UnariBit originally, but it's been slightly modified and fixed by Nathan Ryan, which I'll link down in the description. You could use this for wheat and beetroot, but I suggest building a slightly different design for wheat and beetroot, which is one that just uses a minecart hopper, and I'll link one of those designs down in the description. I think I might do a tutorial on that eventually as well, so just keep an eye out for that. And if I have done that tutorial, I will also put that down in the description. So that's all the practical applications of villagers. So basically food farms and iron farms use villagers, which are very nicely. I have seen a mob farm actually that uses a villager. They use zombies and then push the mobs off, which worked actually fairly well from what I saw as a survival series. I won't link that down in the description, but I have seen even mob farms build a villager, so they're quite useful besides trading. Couple last notes. Keep in mind, I will probably do tutorials on systems that churn off breeders and once there's too many adult villagers there, it will kill all the baby villagers like right here. I actually have this turned off at the moment. So yeah, I have systems like this that I use to do that, which I will put a world down in the description if you want to check that out. But I do have max entity cramming turned off in this world, so that's not really an issue for me at all. So just keep that in mind. So that's about does it, guys. If you want to see a tutorial for this down in the description, and there's not already one being made, I will do a tutorial on that. Just comment down below. If you want to see a tutorial on this and you couldn't find it in the description, comment down below and I'll link you directly to that video once again. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below and leave a comment if you really did like it. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. You guys have been really killing it in the past couple weeks with subscribing and things like that, so just keep it up. But other than that, guys, I hope you have an easy going day, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.